All right, if the 49ers are going to follow the Eagles' blueprint, I think in the big picture, it's really important for San Francisco to make their defense cheaper. Let me explain. The Eagles, number one in the NFL in spending on their offense, this season it's going to tumble down to number 25 in spending on their defense. So the Eagles have replenished their defense with rookies, cost-controlled draft picks. Cooper DeJean, he was a draft pick. He had that pick 6 on his birthday in the Super Bowl. The defensive line, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. I mean, we can go down the list. They let Javon Hargrave go. 49ers paid Javon Hargrave, and that's led to San Francisco having a very, very highly ranked defensive spend. Number 5 in defensive spend. Their offense is number 19, so it's inverted relative to what the Eagles are doing. So obviously the Brock Purdy contract is going to help balance some of that in the other direction. I also think that the fact that the 49ers probably won't bring back Dre Greenlaw, we'll see though. I think Greenlaw, that's a toss-up, but Talanoa Hufanga, Javon Hargrave himself, I mean, all these guys, there's a strong chance that the vast majority of them will be off of the 49ers books. So because of that, the defensive spend is going to go down. 49ers hit last year in the draft on defense, Renardo Green, Malik Mustafa. They've got to hit again if they want to follow that Eagles blueprint of making the defense cheaper, because the offense is inevitably going to become more expensive with what the 49ers are about to pay Brock Purdy. They might even bring in some more expenditures on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, we're talking about Devontae Adams right now. That probably wouldn't come all too cheap for the 49ers. Even if they go Darius Slayton or Elijah Moore at wide receiver, then you're spending more at that position. So offensive spending in the NFL, I think the Eagles have it right. I think the Eagles understand that you're going to need premium pieces on offense. Pay your offensive line, you pay your quarterback Jalen Hurts. They've also managed to pay the receivers and Saquon Barkley on top of that. But defensively, that's where you can get that rookie production to deliver for you to fill out a balanced football team. All right, check this out. This is cool. I'm at SFO, just got off the air train, headed into the Grand Hyatt, which is literally part of the airport. But we can continue talking about the 49ers. The exact numbers, by the way, right now are $133 million of spend for the offense and $128 million of spend for San Francisco's defense. So it's funny because the two numbers are essentially even, but the offensive number ranks so much lower than the defensive number. That's because teams in general are following the trend that the Eagles have truly exemplified. They've taken it to the extreme. Teams are spending much more on the offense than they do on the defense. Anyway, you take the staircase down here, you could see all the planes over here. It's kind of near the international terminal. And then you walk through and hit the front desk area. So it's actually really neat if you're on a layover in San Francisco. Even if you're not staying here, you can go and check out the hotel and get what I understand is a really good breakfast burrito. You have the flight board right by the front desk with a view of the runway, and Lombardi herself probably somewhere here at the restaurant. She ordered me the breakfast burrito. There she is. We'll find her right here. Now, as far as cutting defensive costs, it's going to be fascinating to see what the 49ers do with some of their B-list veterans who remain under contract, because the formula for San Francisco has been simple and I think is further clarified by the direction that this is headed, by the direction that a model team like the Philadelphia Eagles has taken. You pay your A-list veterans, but then for the B-list spots, for the margin spots on the roster, especially on the defense, you let rookie contracts efficiently fill those spots. So somebody like Leonard Floyd, somebody like Malik Collins, both under contract for 2025, but it's going to be fascinating to see how the 49ers plan to occupy their positions moving forward. They obviously can keep those guys under contract if they feel that the production is commensurate to the contract value. So for somebody like Leonard Floyd, paying him $10 million a year, he did notch 8.5 sacks for you last season. Malik Collins was number 7 in pass rush win rate, so those guys can easily stay with this team, but the 49ers will be focusing on cost-controlled production at the margins. I think that Nick Bosa is your centerpiece along the defensive line. Fred Warner's your A-list centerpiece at linebacker, and obviously you've just paid Diamond Lenore your centerpiece in the defensive backfield. You've already got good cost-controlled production from Malik Mustafa, the safety position. You're hoping for a bounce back here from Jair Brown. Renardo Green, I mean, my article on the defensive backs for the San Francisco Standard is going to be coming up soon, so we've got to keep an eye on that. But Renardo Green and Malik Mustafa, state of the 49ers, DBs, that's the good news for the 49ers. Now they have to find that marginal production elsewhere, and that is definitely going to begin with an NFL draft that is very, very strong at the defensive tackle position. And I think there's some DBs to be had in this NFL draft as well. Don't focus only on the 49ers picking defensive line when they're trying to stock up the defense. Remember that the Philadelphia Eagles, yeah, they've been picking defensive linemen every single season here. Howie Roseman is focused on the line, but he also picked Cooper DeJean. So this can go one of many ways for the 49ers. They've got, 10 draft picks coming up. This is going to be another really important draft to hit if you're San Francisco, just because they're at that intersection right now. They're at that, you're playing financial Tetris, you're walking a tightrope, you're making the roster as sustainable as you can, and the lifeblood to sustainability in the National Football League is the NFL draft. All right, we're at SFO. Where are we headed next? That right there is the plane. It's a Dreamliner. Weather here in San Francisco isn't great. Hopefully the weather where we're going is going to be a little bit better. We'll talk to you soon.